Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It won't have escaped anyone in the House's attention that Jamie Lee Ross came into this House when Pansy Wong had to resign from Parliament in disgrace because of dodgy business dealings in China involving members of her family. That is how we ended up with Jamie Lee Ross in the House in the first place. And now we've got another minister in the gun for dodgy dealings as well, and that is Judith Collins. But I want to know, will the National Party walk the talk that they've been talking today? Will they fess up and reveal where all of their donations came from? The money that they filtered, they laundered through the New Zealand Free Enterprise Trust, the Holland Memorial Trust, the Southern Free Enterprise Trust, the Waitemata Trust, the Ruahine Trust, and my favourite, the Nationalist Trust of Timaru. All of those being used to launder money by the National Party. Millions of dollars, not a couple of thousand, millions of dollars laundered through those trusts. If they're not willing to name all of the individual donors who put money through those trusts, then they are hypocrites. Hypocrites, and no other word will describe them, because that is exactly how they can be described, because they use trusts to filter millions of dollars. And while we're on the subject of trust, will John Key fess up and admit that he didn't tell the truth when it came to his own blind trust? His own blind trust that he supposedly doesn't know anything about. When in fact this blind trust was the trust that took the shares in his vineyard, which he personally buys wine from every year to give away his PM's Pinot. And he claims that he doesn't know whether he owns those shares or not, despite the fact that John Key perfected the art of establishing a look-through blind trust so that he could keep an eye on where all of his shares are going. Because he bought those shares in that high-water vineyard just before the election, and since then has used, and let's not get started on Transrail. This isn't because he repeatedly lied to the public of New Zealand when it came to his shareholdings in Transrail. Didn't tell the truth. Told porkies, caught on television telling porkies, and the whole country knew that. So are the National Party willing to walk the talk? Are they going to walk the talk? Will they reveal their anonymous donations? No. Will John Key now fess up and admit that he lied when he said that he did not know about the shareholdings of his supposedly blind look-through trust? And will Judith Collins now admit that she was embroiled in a dodgy deal to further her husband's business interests? And it's not just her. The whole National Party are donkey deep in this Aurovita scandal. Judith Collins' husband appointed to the board immediately afterwards, large donations made by that company to the National Party. The Auckland office opening of Aurovita crawling with senior National Party figures from Jenny Shipley down, including Peter Goodfellow. Goodfellow, of course, one of the suppliers of fish products to Aurovita. He met with them as National Party president. He met with Aurovita as National Party president to discuss New Zealand government endorsement for their products. And of course, John Key's involved in this as well, because it's not just Judith Collins lining up for photo opportunities with Aurovita. John Key played golf with the director of Aurovita, had his photo taken, and we know that that photo is being used in China to promote Aurovita products. It is the Prime Minister right up there with Judith Collins endorsing Aurovita products, the company that Judith Collins' husband is a director of. This is the national government looking after their mates. It's crony capitalism at its best. The National Party's dodgy dealings. And so will Judith Collins do the honourable thing and follow Pansy Wong? Because when Pansy Wong was caught out, she had the decency to go. She had the decency to resign from Parliament. Will Judith Collins have that same level of integrity? Given her answers today, somehow I doubt it. Somehow I doubt it. I'm not going to be holding my breath waiting for Judith Collins to do the decent thing. This is a government that aren't willing to walk the talk. They're not willing to walk the talk when it comes to setting high standards. John Key promised us a new threshold, a higher bar for ministerial accountability and ministerial standards, and yet every year he is Prime Minister, the threshold gets lowered, the standards get lowered. He's willing to have Peter Dunn knowingly leaking documents and then lying about it and trying to cover it up. He's willing to have Peter Dunn as a minister in his government. He's willing to have that crook John Banks as a minister, as a member supporting his government, and he does nothing about it. The standards keep getting lower with John Key.
I call the honourable member Mike Seaborn.
See, I just actually want to acknowledge the member Chris